What do we have for Sagittarius at the foundation of the reading, please? Queen of Swords, air energy at the foundation. I just heard self-preservation. What do we have at the sacral, please? Queen of Wands, fire energy at the sacral. I'm hearing something about speaking some sort of truth. I just heard something about an individual beginning to realize that they are now the villain in your story. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? The mob. Okay. What I'm getting here, Sag, has something to do with an individual or individuals that, let's just say, they tried to make things more difficult than they need to be for you. Now, the Queen of Swords here, right there at the foundation of the reading, the root chakra, is speaking about where you're at in your life right now. I feel that you're functioning from this very perceptive, very quick thinking, mentally organized kind of space. You see things exactly the way they are. And there's something about this energy that feels very intimidating to some sort of force outside of you. It's like you have put all the facts together in such a cohesive manner that there's individuals that are beginning to feel threatened in some capacity by this. It's to say that you see everything the way it actually happened now, and you could be preparing to speak some sort of truth about this. But these individuals don't know when you're going to do this. They feel, I just heard, impending doom. And the Queen of Wands from this deck is really great because it's showing us an individual that's directing a movie, right? And the Queen of Wands is all about self-mastery. So you're getting to this point in your life where you have began to see things from a higher perspective in regards to the struggles that you have faced on your path. And it's like you're packaging this, metaphorically speaking, in a way that implicates other people. You know, this is one of these energies where you telling your story puts the spotlight on other individuals. Now, this mob card, I feel, is representing what you've had to come up against. It's like you've been this lone wolf in what seems like this herd of, I just heard, zombies, right? Now, we have the Hermit on the bottom of the deck. So a lot of you could be in hermit mode right now, and this is where you've been able to collect your thoughts, to quite possibly position yourself to speak about what it is I may be picking up here for all of you. But the fact that we're getting two queens right out the gates at the root chakra and the sacral is telling me that your creativity is going to be the foundation by which you build your life on moving forward. And this mob energy at the solar plexus is you really turning the tables now. It's like you've gotten control over this situation. I just heard you went to hell and back with these people, and they never expected you to be able to get yourself out of whatever this was that they may have put you through. Now, I'm seeing a vision in my mind's eye of an individual inside your energy. It could certainly be more than one, but they're giving me the example of one person who's really crashing out, right? It's like they're having some sort of mental breakdown because they're starting to realize what they got themselves involved with when it comes to you. You know, I feel that this is somebody who is really disillusioned by their own success in some capacity. This is somebody who may have been tempted with something to come against you, to sell you out, to speak badly on your name, to drag your reputation through the mud, or simply put, just be a part of some plan to make your life more difficult than it needs to be. And I feel that that sentence alone, right, made your life more difficult than it needs to be, is the key here. Because there's something around this, right? There's something about the way the universe is perceiving this and how it was done deliberately. This was not by accident. This was something that was premeditated. And when it comes to premeditated wickedness, like what I'm picking up on this table, anything really goes. And what that really means is this is an energy where these people can't rest. It's like constantly looking over your shoulder, constantly waiting for something to happen. And there's no escape from that. You know, I really feel that karma in some capacity, right? There's many layers to karma and how it unfolds in people's life. It can be good, it can be bad. But whatever the case, I feel that it's typically influenced by the guilt we hold surrounding certain situations that we may have involved ourselves in. It's like an individual who holds so much guilt for something they may have done to somebody, and now they have to live with that, right? And that is directly affecting the joy that they feel in their life. So that karma is a direct result of the guilt, and the guilt is a direct result of what they may have done to another individual, deliberately speaking. There's an individual that's crashing out inside your energy because they have to live with some sort of guilt now. And they're starting to see how it's eroding several areas of their life. This could have been somebody who, again, was tempted with some sort of material offer and they took it. And maybe they were flying high there for a minute, but that's all long gone now. This person has been having some sort of fall from grace, and now they're really having to live with what they brought into your life. They're feeling what you went through, but 10 times more extreme, right? And this is what karma is. That guilt cannot be escaped from the first second that they open their eyes each day to the last second before they close their eyes each day, all through their dream realm. Doesn't matter where this person goes. It doesn't matter what this person does. They cannot shake what they involve themselves in when it comes to you. What do we have at the heart, please? Wow. Very interesting. Okay, so we just got the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and then the Five of Cups also flipped over. Now, what I'm getting with this Five of Pentacles following this mob card at the solar plexus here has to do with something that these individuals involved themselves in that was meant to directly impact your life. Now, the Five of Pentacles in reverse can speak about the end of some sort of struggle for you. And given that it's pentacles, it could be directly related to your money, your foundation, just material items in your life. It's to say that the struggle is coming to an end. And what I'm feeling here is that these individuals are starting to see that things are not working out the way that they expected them to. It's like things are just getting progressively better in your life, and now here they are. Wait, what? It wasn't supposed to happen like this. They were supposed to lose money, not gain money. Why are they in this recovery phase? They should be out in the cold. What's going on here? And it's like this mob energy, it's starting to make me feel like the zombie mob is now turning on them, right? Everything that they sent out towards you, energetically speaking, is now being returned to them. And again, this can just be an analogy for the guilt that they are feeling. They feel that given the fact that things are on the up and up for you, that what they sent out actually didn't hit you. And if it did, it's had the complete opposite effect, which is bad news for them. You may have gone through some sort of crisis situation in your life, Sag, and now you're coming out of that, or maybe you've been out of it for a long time. But there's something here that is telling me that these individuals are just now really starting to see this. Maybe, well, we saw that Hermit card, so it could have been that you've been in hermit mode and nobody really knew what was going on in and around your life. But now, all of a sudden, there's hints of what's actually going on behind the scenes in your personal life. And things are looking really good. Things are very positive. Things are on the up and up. And again, this is bad news for these energies because what they sent out had to go somewhere. And, you know, I'm hearing something about a prayer routine that you might have in place. One where you verbalize something to the divine or the higher power in your life, right? There's something there that you repeat daily. Now, if you haven't done that, then this is a pretty clear message that you need to. All right. Prayer is the number one defense against any attack in your life. So if you haven't implemented this yet, then I highly recommend that you start and do it every single day. Eventually, it just becomes second nature. You don't even think about it. It should become a regular part of your routine, just like brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth, you pray. And I also feel that this is probably one of the most effective things you can do to not only transform your life, but to shift timelines. Because when it comes down to shifting timelines and just getting things to start moving in a positive direction in your life, it's typically always going to come down to faith, hope, being more connected to source. And prayer and meditation, I feel, are the two most effective ways that you can actually accomplish this. But moving forward, Sag, you're in this position now that I don't feel anybody expected you to reach. This is one of these messages where the weapons that were being formed against you, they thought couldn't fail. This is a very dangerous game to play with the universe, because the universe loves to make an example out of people who think that they can get away with something like this. This is in one of these moments where in your darkest hour, at your absolute rock bottom, you have some sort of divine revelation. Spirit comes into your life, lifts you up, drops some downloads onto you, and you regain your focus, which influences you to pivot right in the middle of these attacks, which at the time, you probably couldn't even put into words anyway. And that's how it's supposed to be. It's all energy. These situations were supposed to come directly for your hierarchy of needs. And when the rug is being ripped out from underneath you, with every step you try to take in life, it can cause you to completely lose yourself and just want to give up. But that's also when the greatest miracles in your life can sometimes find you. And that's exactly what I'm feeling for all of you, Sag. Spirit found you at your lowest, lifted you up, and empowered you with a certain kind of strength that these individuals never in a million years would have ever thought you would be able to access. But here we are now. You are some sort of divine revelation to these people. Again, you are an example that has come to life. This is biblical. This is prophecy playing out in your life. Little old you becoming a perfect example of an individual that can be spiritually awakened and empowered in the face of the enemy. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? Four of Swords, Libra energy at the throat. Now, this Four of Swords at the throat position is following this sequence that we've been picking up here about you recovering from some sort of difficult situation in your life. The Five of Pentacles in reverse, followed by the Four of Swords, is speaking about you moving away, and I just heard it was spirit-led, from some sort of scarcity and or neglect. Yeah, there's a energy here of emotional hardship. It feels like, I just heard it wasn't real love. Yeah, Spirit has you in this energy right now where you're recovering from everything you've been through. And I feel that you're also in this energy of contemplation. You're really thinking about everything that's happened on your path up until now. You feel safe. And I feel that this was what followed that space that we found you out a moment ago, right at that rock bottom, where it felt like nothing could get better. It's like Spirit opened up this secret passageway door for you, and you made your way through. And then it's like these individuals came back only to realize you had escaped, right? Yeah, this analogy that I'm getting right now, it's like they thought that they had you completely blocked in, closed in, trapped inside some energy with no... Okay, I'm hearing Panopticon. Okay, they're putting emphasis on how this impacted you mentally speaking. It was meant to strip you of the basic mental faculties that an individual needs to be able to function and get by in the everyday grind of life. So again, going back to what I said about targeting your hierarchy of needs, right? Shelter, food, love, just all the basic things that we should all have without even having to really try, right? It's like all of those things were under attack for you. And, when it comes to an attack like this, Sag, there's really two options for you here. One, you succumb to it and that's it. They completely destroy you and it's over for you. Or two, which is what you have clearly chosen, you become this superhero in your own life. You become everything that they never, ever expected you to become. It's like they bet it all on this completely taking you out. But then that secret passage doorway opened. Spirit pulled you in, said, come on, let's go. We're getting you out of here. For a lot of you, this happened when you were all out of hope. You couldn't see a way out. It's like being completely checkmated. But it's when you're pulled out of these moments by the universe, do you then arm yourself with a certain kind of faith that most people just couldn't even understand? Because you realize that the higher power had been watching you the entire time. And from that moment forward, you walk with this unwavering faith that gives you that superpower. You know you walk with the divine. You walk with God. And it then makes every step that you take on your path moving forward purposeful. Fear begins to melt away. You start to see that the structure around your life is divinely led because you accepted the mission. And individuals who step into this kind of knowing, into this kind of superpower that they find from their connection with the divine, have a calling on their life. And this is what you're waking up to now. A part of you is still thinking back to that time when you just felt like little old you. There wasn't really anything significant about you. You just thought you were another person getting by in this crazy world we live in. And you were. And you still are. But the way you navigate that space now is not the same. You understand that every single person, should they accept a mission like this, has a huge purpose behind why they're here. This is not by chance. This is by design. And this is something that, with this 4 swords at the throat, is consuming you right now. Your thoughts are just being flooded with all this new knowledge that the divine has imparted upon you as you're making your way through this secret passage doorway into this new life, as you're starting to understand the superpowers that you hold from within simply by being. And right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Temperance card, okay? Now, this Temperance card is showing us 2 images. We're seeing this individual who's just, working a bar job. They're obviously a bartender. But then there's this other image, which is the typical Temperance card image. It's an angel, right? So it's like, even though you may look like an individual just living in this world getting by, you are being led by a higher power because you have a calling on your life. You're hidden in plain sight. I just heard you are an angel walking amongst us. And that is something that you may not even be able to fully accept yet. Sometimes you realize it, you sit with it, but then other times you're just going about your life, doing what you do like the rest of us. And then all of a sudden you catch yourself thinking about everything that's happened and you go, oh yeah, I'm a higher being having a human existence in this world. And I know that because I accepted my mission. I understand how this really works. It's moments like these when you start to realize that the Matrix is real. The Matrix is just everything that stops you from understanding what it is we are discussing in this reading right now. It's the illusion, it's the lie. It's everything that wants to tell you, nah, that's not real. That's just, some spiritual woohoo. The Matrix is what wants to keep you spiritually suppressed and asleep to the fact that there's several other dimensions and a higher power that is observing our evolution. And you are an incremental piece of that. You are a piece of that God source experiencing life. You are gathering wisdom. That's what you're here for. What do we have at the third eye, please? Is that 2 cards? Yes. Okay, we'll take both of these. 2 of Swords. Libra energy again. And the Ace of Swords. Air energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius at the crown. So I mentioned that they were trying to mess with your mental faculties. And we have a lot of air energy on this table. The mind, the mentals, right? Queen of Swords. 4, 2, and Ace of Swords. It's like here you are contemplating this transition you're going through, 4 swords. And then the 2 of Swords here is showing us the typical depiction of the 2 of Swords there. But then obviously we can see this individual playing chess, right? Thinking about their next move. And I just heard your next move has to be your best move. And I'm hearing something about not allowing your truth to be reactionary. Now, what I feel that they're really trying to highlight here is you speaking from a place of strategy rather than a place of emotion. When we go through difficult times in our lives, it can be very challenging to not allow the emotion that we have experienced in those stories to influence the tone of our voice, the way we tell the story. Now, what I'm picking up here for all of you is an energy of being very strategic when you position yourself to tell said story or whatever it is you're planning on doing here. Simply put, the message is to move with strategy rather than a place of being emotionally reactive. And a part of that could have to do with the impact of your truth. It's more believable when you remove the emotional aspects of your story. Just speak about facts. So take that as it resonates here for all of you. Yeah, I just heard take off the blindfold and make a move. And you know, the Two of Swords on the Rider-Waite depiction has a body of water behind her, okay? And it can speak about making a head over heart decision. So it's really highlighting again what I've been saying here, okay? Now, there is some sort of major victory here for you, Sag. The Ace of Swords at the crown is speaking about some sort of new idea, job. It could be a project that is beginning to materialize based on how you've moved through this situation. You know, Sag, this is one of these energies when I see an individual going through something that was meant to destroy them. And with the divine's help, they make it out the other side. And now they have an amazing story, maybe a new idea that they can make a lot of money from. There's so many different ways this can show up in your life. But it's a situation where the universe puts you through these trials and tribulations, allows it to happen in your life, right? Because they know if you make it out the other end, oh, people better watch out, right? That's what I'm getting here for you. There's major success directly connected to the trials and tribulations that you have experienced on your path up until now. But you, more than anybody else, need to actually believe it. What do we have at the foundation, please? Death. Scorpio energy underneath the Queen of Swords at the foundation. Now, the Death card underneath the Queen of Swords here, for one group of you, is saying that you need to stop avoiding some sort of inevitable transformation. It's like there's some sort of energy here that feels like it's already ended, but some of you could be holding on to something here that's not serving you, and or it's an energy that is trying to stop you from moving forward. But no matter where you're at on the timeline, this is clearly an energy that is telling you to let go and start moving forward. Yeah, I just heard people, places, situations, mindsets, and behavioral patterns. Nothing is off the table here. You know, I genuinely feel that anybody can resonate with that message, Sag or not, right? We all have mindsets. We all have behavioral patterns that don't serve us, that we need to let go of. Nobody is perfect. And it doesn't have to be things that are massive, right? We could have these tiny little behavioral patterns, these little mindsets that seemingly have no effect on us. But then once we start to address them, we actually see that, oh my God, that had a huge influence on my energy levels, my movement forward, just how I thought about myself, right? You know, I always like to give the example of somebody who consumes something every single day, like a piece of food or, you know, maybe even an energy drink. And that thing you're actually consuming is actually impacting your energy levels in a way that makes you tired, right? What do we have at the sacral, please, Spirit? 10 of Swords. Okay. So Death card followed by the 10 of Swords. Both of these cards speak about endings. The Death card speaks about an ending and transformation, and the 10 of Swords speaks about a rock bottom ending and a new beginning. Now, this is going back to what I said about the secret passage doorway. You know, there's a transformation that's on the table right here for the Sag Collective, but there's some sort of opposing force, some sort of mindset, some sort of energy that is trying to stop you from actually passing through the 8th house of transformation, which is the house of Scorpio, right? And it's interesting because Sag, you're the 9th house. So right now you're going through this period of your life where you're actually passing through the 8th house and you're making your way back to your own house, the 9th house. And the fact that we're constantly evolving makes what I'm saying here make sense, right? You're not always in your Sag energy. You're sort of traveling through all the 12 signs, right? And right before you get back to yourself and have another evolution, you have to pass through the 8th house, which is going to transform you right before you pop back out into the 9th house, which is for you, and you come back out into the world again, having leveled up. Simply put, you are going through an evolution right now, Sag, and the cost of you stepping into the next level of your life is your old life. What do we have? The solar plexus, please. 5 of Pentacles again. Right underneath the mob. Look at that. 5 of Pentacles underneath and next to this mob energy, right? The zombie mob. This is very interesting. Typically, these cards here, this whole energy represents what's underneath the surface, whether it's things you're dealing with on a psychological level or what other people have in mind for you, right? Other people's intentions for you. This 5 of Pentacles here is read differently from this 5 of Pentacles here. This one right here is further highlighting the scarcity energy that I picked up. It's heavy here. There's people here that don't want to see you level up. Yeah, I don't know who this is for you, Sag, but there's someone in your energy that I feel is influencing you. I just heard some of you, this could be a family member. I just heard something about, you just wanting this person to be proud of you. But what you may not be fully aware of is that that is an impossible task, because if you have success in your life, they're going to influence you in a way to where you lose it. And when you don't have success in your life, they're going to make you feel like you're beneath them. So there's no winning here. And this could be, for a lot of you, this energy that I'm picking up on. You're starting to realize this now. You're saying, wait a second. I took your advice. I listened to something you said, and somehow I feel further behind than I did before. You know, this 5 of Pentacles can speak about spiritual poverty too. So it doesn't always have to come down to the financial aspects, the stability parts of it, because it's Pentacles. It could certainly be something that is taking place metaphysically speaking. You know, sometimes people feel slighted by you if you're more spiritually evolved than them. So maybe they'll come for you in other areas of your life to try and checkmate you. I feel the Sag Collective has some serious decisions they need to make right now. And I feel that it's literally coming down to their own real happiness, what they really see for their life, and other people's happiness and what they see for your life. And right as I said that, I got a really sharp ringing in my right ear, which really just puts more weight and confirmation behind that message. Whenever that happens, it's like Spirit saying, ding, 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 bingo. What do we have at the heart position, please? Okay, we're going to start on this side of the card first. So that is the 6 of Pentacles. Now, the 6 of Pentacles from this deck is an energy of coveting. It's also an energy of envy. And there it is, sandwiched between those 2 5 of Pentacles. You know, I mentioned that this could be something spiritual, something metaphysical, but it's always going to show up in your everyday waking life. Whatever's taking place in spirit, as above, is going to show up down below in our material world. You know, this 6 of Pentacles can speak about something in your material world starting to have issues, right? Could be financial, could have to do with stability, but something there is not how it should be. And you're starting to see that there's certain influences in and around your life that are causing this. So what I'm seeing here is what we picked up back here, right? In regards to the mindsets, the behavioral patterns, the little addictions, whatever it may be, the people, the places, the things. It's like you're starting to realize this now. You're starting to look around at your life and say, oh, I see it now. I understand. This person is a bad influence in my life. This thing is affecting my energy levels. This is you really looking over your life with a magnifying glass and looking at the finer details and seeing how some of these things are directly impacting your hierarchy of needs. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles, and it says right there, mental force. Now, the 3 of Pentacles from this deck is speaking about you putting some sort of plan in place to remove yourself, right? Emphasis on yourself from these energies, right? if this is environmental or has to do with other people, you're going to always have to make the first move. You can't wait for other people to make moves, because then you're really just putting the power in their hands. And that's the last thing you want to do, because they won't do anything about it. Three of Pentacles can also speak about learning some sort of new skill, or maybe just implementing a new idea or something like this. And the fact that we're getting this in between these two Five of Pentacles here is showing me that there's a huge shift away from the scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset is a mindset that will tell you, no, that will never work out. I can't do that because of this. No, it's not going to happen for me, right? A scarcity mindset is fundamentally equivalent to looking at the glass half empty. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? Seven of Pentacles, Taurus energy. Wow. 5, 6, 7. Or sorry, 5, 6, 7. All Taurus energy. This is so clear, Sag. It's like you're overcoming some sort of hardship here, whether it's material, spiritual, emotional, mental. I mean, we picked up, I think, a little bit of all of it throughout this reading, which can really just speak about the different groups of you out there that are dealing with the different aspects of this message here. But you're establishing some sort of balance, and you're going to finally start reaping some sort of rewards for your long-term labor and or patience that you have put into this energy here. In short, you transition from scarcity to success. This energy here feels so repressive. Says right there, deliverance, the deliverance of prisoners, right? It's one of these energies where you get on the other side of it and you look back at it after you're far removed from it, and you just see how truly oppressive it may have been, right? You're just so grateful to have escaped it, whatever it represents for you. There's also this message here about a lot of you taking a time out, if you haven't done this already, so you can make some sort of decisions about which things are actually worth your time, not rushing and trusting in the process. What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? 5 of Swords. So we've seen a lot of fives in this spread here, Sag. So it's all about moving on. Now, the 5 of Swords is an energy of terminating unhealthy relationships in your life, whether it's relationships you keep with yourself, like all the things we mentioned, or it's external to you. In a lot of cases, it's probably going to be a little bit of everything. But that's also right underneath the 2 of Swords. So you're starting to see now that in order to step into this new timeline, right, this evolutionary energy, things need to be removed. And it also says right here, the acquisition of wisdom. So this is you saying, okay, I need to remove this to get this. And I just heard strategy development. This is so clear. This is one of these situations, Sag, where you may be looking around at your life and saying, I'm not going to be able to have the success that I truly want with this hater around, with this person who's always whispering self-doubt into my ear, or I'm not going to be able to attain this until I address something with my health, right? I really need to be on top of my game here. I need to go into full-on Rocky mode, right? It's like you're training for a championship fight. This is just an analogy for the way the energy wants to be embraced by you. Spirit wants you to look at your life like this. Because the thing is, once you really start to understand that this is really how your life works, you'll get the win. And once you get the win, everything will change. You'll say, yeah, I get it now. My life is like a movie, right? And I'm the one directing it. So how's it going to look? Am I going to be the central character or a supporting character? You choose. And this is what this is all about. I feel that you've been a supporting character for far too long without even really being aware of that, Sag. And I think that a lot of us go through this, right? We're not born aware of how life works. We live in this world where people like to tell other people what to do, how to live their life. And unfortunately, this starts in childhood. So we have all these learned behavioral patterns that we need to somehow figure out how to break later on in life. And this is not something that can really be taught. It's just an awareness that comes to you. And then you start digging for information about other people who may have gone through this situation. And then all of a sudden, spirit and the universe start communicating with you. And then before you know it, you're on a whole new timeline, living in this entirely different life. That is another example of the matrix theory, okay? It's like waking up in a timeline where you have been kept small and realizing that you are actually the master manifester of your own life. And you have this untapped power and potential just waiting for you. And then right on the bottom of the deck, Temperance. So that's your energy, Sag. just gives me the sense that you've gotten your wings, right? You're starting to understand this now. You're showing up for yourself. It's like you're saying, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready to fight the good fight. I'm ready to be that person that I was always meant to be in this life cycle. What do we have of the crown to close this out for Sag, please? Wow. Unbelievable. Sag, that is your energy again. The Wheel of Fortune. You're represented by Temperance and the Wheel of Fortune. And I would say that this is the best card that we could have gotten to end this reading, because not only are we ending the reading on your energy, but it brings the entire reading full circle. The Wheel of Fortune is you stepping into this new timeline, right? After you realizing your potential. This is the turning point. This is representing the life cycle. This is representing the awakening. And this is representing this big picture vision that Spirit is trying to awaken you to right now. There's so much more than this energy that wants to keep you small, whatever that represents. There's a lot of good karma and good fortune waiting for you on the other side of this, Sag. This is one of these situations where the universe says, hey, we have this opportunity for you, but you're going to have to leave this, that, and the other behind. But we promise it is going to be so worth it when you get on the other side, because not only will you be living in your truth, but when you get there, you're going to look back and you're going to see all these older energies for who they really are. And you're going to be horrified that you were actually there to begin with and didn't see it sooner. So whatever emotional attachment or fear that you have connecting you to these old energies and the releasing of them, fear not, because this is a promise from Spirit that there will be a day in your future when you look at all of these energies in a completely different way than you do at this current moment. So Sag, however this energy is showing up for you in your life and where you are on this timeline, I hope that we were able to serve you with something useful to help navigate you through the adventure that is your life. So with that, I will leave it here. All right, Sag, this is what I have for all of you. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. And I would like to know how this reading resonated with you, so drop me a heart and or a comment down below, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.